Hello guys and welcome back to my channel Firewall again. In this video series I'm going to talk about Checkpoint Firewall clustering solution. Not only the Checkpoint Firewall clustering solution, we will also talk about in general how clustering works. We have many firewall vendors in a cloud, in on-premises, or in any technology. The clustering is the primary way to protect your network from failures. We have variety of the vendors like Palo Alto firewalls, Checkpoint firewalls, FortiGate firewall, ASA firewall, Juniper firewall, plus we have AWS cloud, we have Azure cloud, we have Google cloud, we have Alibaba cloud, we have IBM cloud, we have OpenStack. Wherever you go, you will hear this term clustering. With reference to this video, I am going to talk about the clustering solution. Of course, we will not be able to cover each and every aspect of other vendors, but I want to give you a brief or a core how this clustering works, for in layman language, in general terms, how it works for any technology. So let's begin. We will understand clustering in this sense. Consider you have one firewall which is acting as a single point of failure. Whatever the traffic is passing from this firewall, everything is taken care by this firewall. In case this firewall goes down, whatever the traffic passing from this firewall will stop. That thing also get down, because there is no backup, there is no alternate solution for this firewall, so that this firewall send whatever the traffic passing from this firewall to another firewall. Consider I have another firewall, but there are constraints. Both firewall will be same vendor, and again lot of things matters like same version, same configuration. So I have another firewall. Now what I make this firewall as a backup of this firewall, or in another word, I'll make this firewall is the firewall acting as a passive firewall for this firewall. What that means, let me tell you. Consider the traffic is passing from this firewall, and I have made some arrangement in a way that if this firewall goes down, this firewall will take a preference, and whatever the traffic was passing from this firewall will be hand over to this firewall, so that the downtime from this firewall will not cause any issue to the traffic passing from the firewalls. So this firewall is gone and this firewall will come up. Not exactly the come up, this firewall is already up. So this firewall goes down, this firewall will take preference, and the traffic flow will be there. There is no downtime. This is a clustering solution, guys. Consider one firewall and another firewall, both firewall acting as a single firewall for you guys. So there are many variations, modes which we can set. Consider this firewall is active, this firewall is a standby or a passive firewall. So only traffic passing from this firewall at a time. Once this firewall is down, this firewall come into the picture and traffic will pass from this firewall. If this firewall is always active and passing the traffic, then this firewall only act as a standby firewall. There is no traffic pass from this firewall. This firewall, I would say, the no use. by the time this firewall is taking care of the traffic. Only this firewall come into the picture once this firewall goes down. This is one of the mode we can set these firewalls. Then there is another technique, another mode. We can act these two firewall together. So these two firewall will be active at the same time. So this firewall processing some load of the traffic, and this firewall also processing some load of the traffic. In scenario this firewall goes down completely, this firewall will take entire traffic load and pass from there. Vice versa, if this firewall goes down, this firewall takes the complete preference of the traffic load and the traffic will pass from the firewall. So there is another way we can do this clustering thing. Again, we can add multiple firewalls in this clustering. We call it cluster stacks, and you'll be saving multiple firewalls who's taking care of this traffic. So in the scenario, the one firewall or two firewall goes down, the another two firewall take care of those things. I hope at least you understand what is clustering means. So basically clustering is nothing but clustering of your appliances or your soft pieces together so that you will not get a single point of failure. There is always someone else or something else who will be the backup or the other point of contact if the main thing get lost. This is a simple fundamental. This is a simple fundamental of clustering. Now, when I talk about different vendors, we have Checkpoint firewall, Palo Alto firewall, ASA firewall, FortiGate firewall, firewalls in a cloud. Everyone using same fundamental when I talk about the clustering. There are certain little here and there tweaks in terms of the naming convention or a little bit slightly different techniques they use to achieve this functionality. But the core is same, guys. There is no change, nothing. You will be getting same thing. So consider, I am just giving you overview now. We are going to go in deeper and understand this technology shortly. But consider, let's take an example of Checkpoint firewall and Palo Alto firewall. So what Checkpoint firewall do to make these two firewall? Okay. Now let's think this way. Okay, so now I'm saying this firewall and this firewall, they are the active passive mode or active standby mode. What that means, one firewall is processing the traffic and another firewall is backup of it or acting as a standby. So once firewall goes down, this will take care. Now how this things achieved generally. So for me, okay, say I'm end user, I'm trying to pass a particular traffic, I'm trying to search on the web and my traffic is passing from the firewall. How I see the firewall? Over there, if I have active passive configuration, I will see this firewall is like active one and passive one like that. Or if I have this firewall in active state, I will see, okay, there's a two firewalls who's protecting my traffic. I will see like that. It's something trick here. So how the configuration works to make this firewall look same, we have to use something called virtual IP. Now consider in a networking we have routers, switches. When I talk about the network architect, there is a packet flow. So when the traffic going from your network to the outside world and the traffic passing from the outside world to the inside world of your whatever that company you're working on, how that thing works. you will be having internal switches, you will be having your load balancers, you will be having routers, and you will be having these firewalls, all things, right? So now, how these internal devices or the outside world see your firewalls? As I'm saying, in a clustering, I need at least two firewalls, to have a cluster. And if I'm using two firewalls, I should denote this two firewall as a one firewall. Why? Because my traffic at a time will be passed from the one firewall if I have the active passive configuration, and even if I have the active configuration, the end user traffic or the traffic which is passing from that network, it should look like passing from a single device or a single point. Look like the two firewalls are processing traffic at the same time, but the devices or the end users, they should see the one device acting over there. I am going to touch this concept very deeply when I talk about the clustering solutions in detail, but for now just understand that we make such arrangement in this clustering technology or a technique so that my two firewall will look like only one firewall. So we will be having some IP addresses here, which we call virtual IP address, which is generally we give to the beneath devices or the end user devices to as a default gateway to pass the traffic from. So all those arrangements we're going to talk in a shortly in a detailed part, but I wanted to tell you that these two things should look one when we talk about the clustering solution. So there is a lot of things going to come, guys. So stay tuned, subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching this video. Have a wonderful day.